Good afternoon, everyone. It's 2:53 on the clock. That's the 2 of the High Priestess, the Divine Feminine, and the 53 of the Messenger of Truth, the Knight of Swords, which is also the Knight in Shining Armor. Let's go ahead and take 3 deep breaths first. I have some really cool information. It brought together a lot of information that was coming through for me the past couple weeks to bring it together to a more whole idea. So that's good for you. If you only have time to listen to one thing, listen to the Metatron message, okay? Because it's really, some of the information that came up was really important. We're going to take 3 deep breaths. I have the Metatron read, a message of the day, a union read, and a twin flame read. We're going to roll the die as well. So let's go ahead and take those 3 deep breaths. One more deep breath. Sending lots of love and blessings, love and light to all of you guys out there. It is the 23rd of December today. 23 is a significant number. The year 23 is going to be significant as well. And thank you all for being here with me today. Okay. So I'm going to show you first the Metatron read. We're going to get right into it after rolling the die. So here's the Metatron read that I'm going to describe to you. And the dice for the Twin Flames, December 23rd, 2021. Twin Flames. And that kind of just plopped right down. We have Cancer here. Am I showing? I always forget to see where it is on the screen. We have the South Node. That's because yesterday Sagittarius left the South Node and now Scorpio's in the South Node. So now leaving behind Scorpio attributes that no longer serve you. And then we have the 3 of coming together. So everyone coming together for the holidays, socializing, siblings, all that kind of energy. It's also the Mother Gaia, abundance. And that happy-go-lucky energy of the smiley person. Kind of that rainbow child energy. So again, releasing Scorpio now. Coming together with Cancer as well. So there's a lot of water energy coming up right there. And the 3 is the Empress, which is Taurus, but 3 is also the month, which comes up as Pisces going into Aries. So let's see where all that all takes us. 3 is very significant. I did 3 stars at the top of this page too. And my son's coming home today, so I'm excited to see him. And let's see here. Before I start my read, a couple acronyms that have been coming up all week, SA and AA, which also can refer to as addicts and Alcoholics Anonymous, Sex Anonymous, but Addictions Anonymous too. So all about addictions and codependencies. But the acronym SA was very significant. I was listening to Michael Salla this morning about some scientific studies they were doing regarding remote viewing work, and not telling anyone, where they're remote viewing so they could get more scientifically proven information. And one of the examples he gave for the place documented would be like, alphanumeric type of symbols, like 1A would be this location, in a blinded type study. And one of the examples he gave was SA, which was confirmation for me that SA was very important here and coming up in the read. So remember those 2 acronyms, SA and AA, because they come up in the read, excuse me. And you can watch that under Michael Salla if you want to watch that video about that, which was good. It's confirming Elena Danon's information about Jupiter and Ashtar Command. And remember, Elena always talks about the fact that Ashtar is not a person, it is a title. It's a title of a command center, so it can be a good command center or a bad command center. It's not all about the Ashtar Command near Jupiter. And that was coming up as in the clouds above Jupiter. And again, then Ganymede is coming up too, the moon of Jupiter, and that comes up in the read today again too. So let's get on with this Metatron read because it was very important today. So again, today's the 23rd. 23 is the King of Wands. The day adds up to 40, which is the Page of Cups. The King of Wands and the Page of Cups. The King of Wands is the man of passion. The Page of Cups is that pure, innocent, childlike love. All right, so combining love. It's interesting that they came up because the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Cups came up in the read too. So it's very much about that, the passion energy of the energy and the love that you are, and combining those two things as the masculine and the feminine coming together in the twin flame union. So this was done at 11:04 to 5, and 4 is the Emperor, 5 is the Hierophant energy, so it's also the change, freedom, and expansion, and 4 is all about the Emperor, but it's control, it's building, structure. It's manifesting survival on this planet as opposed to manifesting our dreams, which is more of the 8 dance. So again, Justice is the 11, which is truth and balance. Sorry, I'm just trying to adjust myself there. I'm knocking the picture for you guys. Okay. So the underlying energy for this Metatron read, the bottom of the deck was white, which is the 51 of the King of Swords, and it's all about that pure innocence like of the Page of Cups. It comes up as the energy today. Underneath that, we also had Lilac, which is that very high vibrational energy, and Review of the 2 of the feminine, the High Priestess. And Lilac comes up as 54 in this deck, which is the Page of Swords, the message of truth. So again, the truth of purity and innocence, of that Page of Cups energy of pure love, and also the white, but it's coming up as the 51, which is very interesting because 51 is King of Swords, and we're talking about the purity of the King of Swords, which can be the soldier, the warrior of light, with especially in this deck with the diamond energy and the wing energy. It's very pure. So the first card out was action. So it's someone running on the beach. It's about the hermit taking action, right? So when you spend a lot of time going within or being still, make sure to release stuck energies within your body, which is your vehicle of ascension and infiltration as well. So here goes the message. We have the colors of white, lilac. So those two very much go together like the violet-white energies of all the colors in one. And then we have indigo, which is the third eye, the gold of that Christ consciousness, and also that masculine heart in conjunction with the silver sword of the light of the feminine, but they go both ways, right? So the gold stands for the masculine, but it also stands for the feminine in her holy grail, her womb. And the sword goes both ways too, right? It's like the Queen of Swords is light as the sword, but it's also the masculine's warrior, okay? So both the gold and the silver come up for both the masculine and the feminine, which makes sense because you both have masculine and feminine in you. So also green comes up here. So we have the green indigo, which is like the purple and the indigo, those emerald and indigo swirls, which I get that a lot in meditation, and then the gold energy of the Christ unity consciousness flowing down around everything. And of course the white light of purification, which contains all of the colors in one. The whole and the independent came up yesterday, not only looking at the whole, but also looking at each color in between of the white. And that goes for people as well, looking at the individuals, but also the whole within. The magic messages under the purple moon. So the purple moon has come up in the last couple weeks. So initially, some people call the blue moon the purple moon, but what the purple moon was coming up here is Ganymede, Jupiter's moon, okay, where there is a control center there of groups of extra dimensionals who watch out for us and watch out for each other, you know, like a league, a union. So the magic messages under the purple moon of Ganymede's moon of Jupiter, and Jupiter and Ashtar Command is also coming up here today. And Ashtar Command was coming up as the castle on the cloud, right? So we have the rainbow arc, which is the mother arc, and then the castle was coming up as one of the archways, the steeple, but it's coming up as the Milky Way. So here it's coming up as the cloud of Ashtar Command. The High Priestess, the Divine Feminine, and time out to review and reflect The King of Swords is purity with innocence and the diamond light. The headquarters of the galactic union energies, the 51 of the King of Swords, warriors of light. And remember, according to Elaine Denon's book, she has some interpretations of some words in Pleiadian, and one of the words is ash, which means bright light. I think they use a different word for just light, like energy light, but for bright light is ash, like shine your light brightly. So Ashtar man comes up in that reference. And remember that Ashtar is just a title, it's not a person. So the action of the hermit and movement needed, and then the void, to pause, take a moment to walk away, which is funny because the movement was the first card out today, which it isn't usually, right? Because you don't first thing want to move around. You want to take your time waking up, get your coffee or your juice, whatever you're doing in the morning. And so right after I did my coffee and juice, instead of coming to do my usual little meditation here, my yoga and my Metatron Read, I started cleaning up because my son was coming. So I was vacuuming and cleaning the rooms up and stuff like that, which I don't normally do first thing in the morning. But that was the first card coming out here, is the movement. And then the void, to pause and walk away and within. To go with the flow, 1-to-1, which is you and your higher self. And also what was coming up funny, because I forget whose book it is, but the 7 days of the week for children, like go with the flow. I think Friday was go with the flow, which is tomorrow. So go with the flow, 1-to-1, which is also aligning. 1 and 1 is 11. The alignment of bridging the gap and connecting with higher self and the collective consciousness. The wholeness as opposed to the one. The world of mystery and mastery. The indigo eye, untying the knots of the electromagnetic field. The push and pull, which is the quantum energy, according to Cryon, of the twins, right? The twins is like an exaggerated example of the push and pull of the quantum energy, because we're now pulling in quantum energy to use on Earth, but you can only use it using a quantum source, and there's only a few quantum sources on Earth available to us, one of which is us. We are quantum energy as we're elevating in speed in our frequency. So the other ones are, so we're quantum energy, magnetics, gravity, and light are quantum energy. Okay? So remember those 4 things. Don't forget that you're a very important part of this. You're the first thread there, right? Because it's where from you that we start to use those other sources of quantum energy. So the quantum energy of the twins, quantum energy is the push and pull, the holy grail of infiltration. Okay, because you as a human are the infiltration, because you're bringing that quantum energy into the field of Earth. You are the vehicle of infiltration of quantum energy to bring free energy, clean water, water wheels, geothermal heat from the Earth. You are the ash, the light of push and pull, the gold of replenishment, epiphanies and energetic exchange, which is that energy exchange, the push and pull. This is the gold, you guys. The infinity is the push and pull, the quantum energy, the dance between polarity that creates pure, balanced energy, which is love, the 0 point, the womb of creation, movement back and forth, spiraling vibration of energy that you are, faster and faster, the propeller on the plane until the plane takes off, or the helicopter hovering in one spot, hovering or hovercrafts, the propulsion, the explosion and implosion of a building into 0 point. It's all that energy, the explosion and implosion makes something disappear without causing scatter or splatter. So take your key, monk, and by the way, monk is M plus Ankh. M is short for, so the she god in Pleiadian is Imana. Elena spells it with an I, but I've always spelled it with an E. And for me, that just could be a point of view for wordplay and breaking down words, because Imana is man with E and A, which is the reflection of the AE, which is ash. So for me, that was significant. And E and A is also emotional attachments, and it's the reflection of arts and entertainment, or entertainment and arts, all of the creative aspects of the human condition. So monk is the M, so I just call Imana M for short. Of course, it's also Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary, Metatron and Michael, so there's a lot of M's that come up that are very significant. But right here, we're talking about M, just like in James Bond, right? The mother lode, the one at home base. The M of the monk, M, and then O-N-K, which means one. M is the source, the one. M is also E-M, the electromagnetic field. The one, the monk key. The monk E for energy, the quantum energy, the human, magnetics, gravity, and light. So then the arc and the steeple, I was looking back at some of my reads this week to look for something, and there's always things that pop up at me they want me to use in the read today. And so then the arc and the steeple were coming up. So the arc is that rounded doorway, and the steeple would be more of a pointed doorway, like a church. But they're coming up as the mother arc and the Milky Way steeple, which is also that energy of the E tower, like the castle tower top that shapes the E, or the multiple energies up there, but that's coming up as a steeple as well. So they're referencing the steeple as the Milky Way cloud, which is also coming up as the Ashtar command cloud. So the mother arc and the Milky Way steeple or cloud, and cloud atlas comes up here too. The gold and the silver, the love and the light, the diamond heart, your heart, connected to your truth. And then M83 was coming up as well, which is a beautiful constellation. So you might want to check it out online. It's near Alpha Centauri. And how hot is it? Hadra? I always forget. Okay. But anyway, it's right there between them. It's a very significant location, so you might want to check it out. M83, it's beautiful. It's like pink and oranges, peaches. So that's also referencing as the two arcs and clouds, because M83 looks like two horseshoes hooked together in my perspective. And here we have the M, which is short for a word, but it's still the M of, again, we're talking about Imana, and the M of the electromagnetic field. So then the shape of the heart was coming up again. As you're connected to your truth, the heart is the two humps on top and then the V below. Two grails, hearts, and V is creation. Or two mother arcs and the V of the bird flying, ding, as wings and clouds. The two arcs and the bird. The two hearts pouring into the womb, that V of creation, co-creation. The hand of God as earth, the electromagnetic grid, and the finger is your chakra system plugged in. Okay, the hand of God. The hand is the earth and the electromagnetic field of the earth, and then the finger, which came up with Patricia. I have to give you her last name. It's Coda. Is it Coda Nobles, Patricia? Let me just double check for you so I can give you the correct name. Where is she? Yeah, it's Patricia Cota Robles, C-O-T-A, and then R-O-B-L-E-S, like Barnes and Noble, but Robles. Patricia Cota Robles. So she channels. She's got some very good information too. You might want to check her out. So the hand of God in the electromagnetic grid, and the finger she talks about being the yod, the finger of God, actually is you. Points to you, your chakra system, plugged in. So the heart is like a circle. So take a circle, which is for me is the human embodiment of source, and if you cut it in half and open it like a box, then you have the bottom of the heart, if the heart's upside down, and then you create a roof on top, which makes the heart shape upside down. And that looks like a butt, right? It looks like a butt with a roof on it. Hips to tip, butt to crown. A circle with a roof, which is a man-made construct or protection to protect the human from the elements. And then the heart, this upside-down heart turned around to see from another perspective. The hangman, or two humans upside down, two heads in one heart, two flames and a third spark. The traveling tent, or mobile fair, this heart upside down, or a show, a human taking the show on the road, the chariot vehicle of infiltration. That's you, in a push and pull of quantum energy creation, to leap to the stars, perhaps Cloud Atlas and Hercules. Atlas, her harvest, or at last, her harvest. She, which is S plus he, or he with S for Sophia. Sophia is Sophi in the zero, with the A is the zero with a tail on it, which is connection. The zero, the human embodiment of source with connection. So Sophia is Sophi in the human embodiment, or with the tail of connection. The heart with the mother arcs and the castle steeples in a cloud, and the sine wave, or the sine like a signpost, but also the sine wave that runs through it, the path. The cobra circling upward and downward at the same time, taking bites, or BYTES, on the way to fuel their efforts. So the zero again, cut open, now this time upside down. So now we're going to cut the circle open and open it up upward. So we have the two humps on the top. And then the V below is the head opened with the pineal in the middle, and then the V below. Remember that the heart upside down has the pyramid on top, like the roof, but when the heart's up, right side up, it's a V underneath. So when it's upside down, there's a butt and a roof. So it's like the root chakra in the middle of the heart when it's upside down, from the hips to the heart, or hips stretching if it's a long heart to the tip of the roof. The accent, the hat that points up to the mouth and the pineal gland, which is the portal to the heart for the masculine, right? The right side up V. The V is the vaginal portal to the womb. From womb to tomb, the vaginal canal to the mouth canal, the portals of wisdom and co-creation, the push and pull, the eat and spit, and of course the sex, is a push and pull. And then they took me into electricity and magnetism and definitions of that. So I'm going to give you a little bit about what I have, but I'm not going to go into too much of it. But first, at the end of this was coming up the M83, and then the horseshoes were coming up as M83, because it looks like two horseshoes clicked together with one hand, which is, horse is the Saggy energy, and I always call the horse Mr. Ed, as that Saggy God energy. The shoes, so the Saggy shoes, or the horseshoes, is the footprint, or four hands of God. Two in the front, two in the back. And the front are like hands of God, as opposed to the feet are in the back. So this is like the horse and God standing up to give their stamp or seal of approval with the horseshoes. The horseshoe mother arc times 2, because a horseshoe is an arc. There and back. Hercules, because her and then Cules literally means to go back. So Atlas is the masculine forward, and then the feminine going back. There and back, again the push and pull of Atlas and Hercules, her going back after Atlas. The static electricity gives you a shock, right? Rubbing causes a charge. Insulators hold this charge to store that kind of energy. Electrostatic is attractive and repulsive, but gravity always attracts. But the electromagnetic field is much stronger than gravity, as you will have witnessed when sometimes, you get some static around your hair or your brush, and it might pick up an envelope or a hairball or whatever. So the comb might pick up something against the pull of gravity down. And lightning is just agitated rain, the push and pull that it causes. And this was coming up from the greatcoursesdaily.com. So there's a couple sites I was getting definitions from. And so then we have the greenfacts.org at 1221. The electric field is force created by pull and push of electric charges, measured in volts per meter, or V per lowercase m. The magnetic field is the force created by a consequence of the movement of electric flow. So it's like the trail. It's like, when you're on a boat, the trail behind is kind of the magnetism that's created by the electric flow. And that intensity usually is measured in Tesla, or lowercase m to the T, which are the two symbols I've been using a lot lately, the V of creation and the T of the time out, sitting under a tree, which is also coming up as the Tesla and the volts, right? The spark, the energy source. The static fields do not vary with time. Both static electric and magnetic fields have steady direction, flow rate, and strength. Thus, there's a frequency of 0 hertz. Static electric, as opposed to electric, static electric, the magnetic field is more like a direct current, like appliances that use direct current. So static electric is charges that are fixed in space or created or caused by charges that are fixed in space, whereas the static magnetic are charges that move as a steady flow, as in direct current appliances. In contrast, time-varying electromagnetic fields, which reverse their direction at a regular frequency, is alternating currents, and those appliances that use that type of current, like cell phones also, and antennas, microwaves, etc. Both fields weaken with distance from the source, just like a magnet gets weak as it gets apart from each other. So electromagnetic are distinct as long as the charges and currents, they're distinct as long as the charges current are static. These fields are characterized by steady, time-independent strengths and correspond to 0 frequency limit of the extremely low frequency, which is ELF band. So of course we don't want low frequency, we want high frequency. The magnetic field is coming up then as a stabilized push and pull of the creation of the electric field. The electric field back and forth, the electricity back and forth becomes electric field, and the electric flow then leaves the magnetic field in its trail. So that's how the magnetic field is created and the electric field is created. Electric is from back and forth energy, creates an electric field, that charge, and the magnetic field is left behind in the flow of the electric going forward. Kind of like the energy of oxygen and carbon dioxide, right? Breathing in and breathing out. So from GenerationGenius.com, I think that was a kid's site too, forces can be applied at a distance through magnetism and static electricity. The closer the magnets, the stronger the force. Magnets can push and pull other magnets depending on their poles or polarity. Electromagnets can be turned on and off with electricity. Static electricity can push or pull things without touching them, which is kind of like that energy of distance Reiki. And that was at 1250, which is the Hangman, and the 10 of Cups, which is emotional fulfillment. So then I would just, I'm going back to the read here at 1253, which is the Hangman and the Knight of Swords, the Messenger of Truth. So we're going back to about mastering the electromagnetic field and your love light, right? Because those are the two significant energies. Electro and magnetic are referencing love and light. So I went back to Elena Danon's book about alien races to see the words from the Pleiades, because I couldn't remember love. So love is M-A-A, according to Elena, and ash is bright light. Just some of the ones I wrote down. Mana is mother, Abba is father, and then she spells Imana with an I, but I tend to spell it with an E, Imana, which is source, as a she, the great mother. Deny, D''N-A-I, she spells as thank you or gratitude. And then Imanahu is the children of source. That's all the children, not just humans. Imanahu. And then Hu is human children. And then of woman, woe is female, man is male. Ker, K-E-R, is power. And Ra is wisdom or wise. Aura, like your aura, but it's spelled O-R-A, is hope. And then tar, like an ash tar, is the seat or the throne. So it's the light of the light throne, ash tar. Dio is guardian. And to say I love you is Ama'ali and then Ama'alu. So I don't know if they pronounce the two A's, but it's M-double-A. Ama'ali and Ama'alu. And then T-A-H-O-K-T-A, or is it T-C? It might be T-C-H-O-K-T-A, is mess or disorder, which makes sense because that word doesn't make sense to me at all. It feels like mess or disorder. So those are just some of the translations that Ilana Danan listed in her book from the Pleiades, from Thorhan. So then I was looking up words that are associated with Ma for love and for ash, which is that bright light. And one of the words that really synced for me was Ma Mash. M-A-M, and then ash, which means exactly, truly, really, which is like source energy of love. It's exact, it's real, it's true. And that's mamash, M-A-M-A-S-H. That was coming up as significant. And also another word, so in Wiktionary, M-A-A, meaning love in Pleiadian, in the dictionary means eye, snake, the sound of a sheep or goat, hand, dry, earth, land, ground, country, countryside, the soil, but also the number 5, water, mother, and the contraction of E-M-I-A, and the E and A have accents on them, which is the contraction of I'll, I''L-L, or I will. It's like the I am present saying, I will this to happen, right? So that's coming up as a definition of M-A-A, which is God's will, love. So at 127, I go back to the read, which is the 1 of the Magician, the 27 of the Ace of Wands, the key of going down the path towards the sun, the key through the arcs and the castle steeples, again, or the mother arc and the castles in the cloud. So the song Castles on a Cloud comes up, which is very significant for me because I wrote a song for my mother because Castle on a Cloud was one of her favorite songs. So the key through the arcs and the castle steeples on a cloud, on that wavy path to the sun, or the sine wave, the flaming heart, a higher path on the journey to the Knight of Wands with a love for life, the journey on the tree of life with the orange energy of the sacral chakra, the wings of creation, to the gold wings of love of the unity consciousness, and the divine feminine energy of the human creativity and unity consciousness, with the Knight of Cups, healing heart, as opposed to the passion. It's more of the love-based energy, the emerald heart, the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Cups, 2 hearts, or love and light, with a wake-up call mirroring you from the cosmos, that the wake-up call is a mirror of the energy you've created, right? You got up to a certain vibration, enabling the cosmos to mirror that with this wake-up call of the collective. Our connection with our roots is the key to our freedom, our codependency on the Knight of Swords speaking their truth, as opposed to being love, light expression of beingness. But it's all to be human, which is fine. With endings reflected in every sunset where you are held, to wisely reflect Akashic records of your ancestors in energetic exchange of gratitude going forward with your family lineage, the chaos of birth and the shadow of death, and connecting to the golden gate of unity consciousness with 2 pillars, 2 wings, 2 flames, and the monkey, or that unity consciousness in the middle, the monk key, the M-Ankh, which is the M or Imana 1, Imana being source. And water for well-being, of course, don't forget, for the chariot that you are, your vehicle, and be your authentic self. And who are you today? Who is that? Are you Ma'a? Are you Ma, the mother energy of love? Love with, and remember, AA here then comes up as love without source energy. So Alcoholics Anonymous is coming up as love, right? But without source. You don't have that source support, which is falling into the codependency. Then the underlying energy summary here was coming up as the purple moon, the castle in the clouds, the King of Swords. The King of Swords being that military energy of Ashtar command, and then the move in the morning with the open eye, right? So you move your body to open that third eye, and then travel or journey with an open heart. So it helps open up that heart when you move your body as well. The second column was about the Om. So Om is AUM, but here it's coming up as the OM version. The O being the human embodiment of source, and we talked about the O splitting in half as the head, but also as the body. And the M of the Imana, the human source, the M of EM, the electromagnetic grid, within the twins at the Y in the road, where you don't have to make a decision. It's the push and pull of the needing to choose between 2 points or 3 points. that creates that 0 point energy in the middle. The heart of the cosmos mirrors you in this wake-up call. And the third column being to go with the magnetic flow and the electric shock of epiphanies and the electromagnetic push and pull of the gold on the journey of the messenger of truth. Source, human, Tesla, and time out. So messenger of truth is M-O-T. M for source, God, Imana. 0 for the human embodiment of source, you as a human being here on the planet. And the T of the Tesla energy of the magnetism and the time out, as opposed to the electric, which is more overstimulation. So that was the energy of the read today. It was really cool. So now we're going to go back to the message of the day, which starts out with the two swans as one. I'm going to find this here. So here's the picture of the message of the day. So the animal spirit deck on top, and then the LENORMAND Reverie, the Gilded Tarot, and the KIPPER deck. Okay. Okay, here's the message of the day. By the way, Scientology was coming up last night too. So somebody might be dealing with that today. The message of the day was the 852, which is the strength, the dance, the manifestation of dreams, and the 52 of the Queen of Swords. The underlying energy being the swans, the lilies, which is 30, or the union, the moon reversed, and then unexpected income, which is number 27 here, with the Ace of Wands and being inspired by that. 2 as 1 in spiritual union, and up before dawn, inspired by unexpected income or unexpected incoming. The stingray that's plugged in to the nightingale, the whale, the panther, the snake, and the swans, which, the snake is the awakening, it's the kundalini energy. The swans is the twins. The panther is the trigger, and the whale is the wise old one who's exhausted. The nightingale is the voice that sings, right? The bird that sings, that communicates to transmute the energy through their voice. Plugged into that nightingale, that whale, the panther, snake, and swans, talking about Scientology and the collective awakening to the twins. Clearing wounds, diving deep, self-love for the King of Wands, and a mess to clean up perhaps, with mice, apples in the kitchen perhaps, or storks nesting the golden egg and looking up, or things looking up. A dream come true, and the power lady presently looking into spiritual union and peace. The dream of the Queen of Cups reversed, 8 of Wands reversed, the Knight of Cups reversed, bringing truth, keeping their cards close to their chest, and then moving to peace with the Knight of Swords, holding on to the devil on fire in a deception, or perhaps up before dawn, with Capricorn upright and Cancer reversed, again on the axis of the push and pull, Capricorn and Cancer. The older man with concerns of 33 in Christ consciousness, or perhaps martyrdom. The mature worldly man or the Hierophant with the King of Cups, little boy walking away from there. And that could be walking away from the powers that be. The Knight of Wands of high honor to get out with unexpected income or incoming. And then the first section was all about the fish and the otter. The fish out of water and the curious otter. The fish in free swim, in energetic exchange without option. The vehicle of infiltration of letters, trash, and documents, and that could be somebody going through trash to find out information about someone. The otter power man, twin and disconnected at a distance on the journey of despair. And remember, it becomes weaker as it gets far from the source. So when two people are at a distance, there's less source energy, so the energy becomes weaker. And there's no option but to disconnect from one outside of the group. The second section here is the starfish, the dear one. The starfish home with the Queen of Pentacles and romantic little girl. And the dear one, or on a magic adventure, to the King of Swords reversed. And the Queen of Cups, perhaps working very hard or toiling and laboring. The Queen of Pentacles with magic little girl, both with the King of Swords reversed. the guys. So this could be too, the Queen of Pentacles and Magic Little Girl. That could even be a mother and child, but both with the same kind of King of Swords reversed guys or issues with guys. And then we have 10-4 of message received with the third section of the Wolf and the Dragonfly. The Wolf in a lover's breakthrough of the King of Wands, hermiting the changes, with the Dragonfly on the Fool's journey with options. The Empress and the King of Wands, perhaps together filing legal papers or titles. The fourth section here is the Lamb who's got a target on their head or over their head, and the Moth to the Flame, which is also a target, right? Because they're so drawn, magnetized to the flame. The Lamb with luck and wishes, and an X perhaps with completed house or room. The Moth to the Flame with Dr. Jackal in the dance under the radar on a high vibe journey. The lack of affection in need of attention. And the fifth section is the peacock, the raccoon, the ants, the fire ants, and the cheetah. The peacock sailing with Empress, sharing with the Queen of Wands thief, or the Queen of Wands with a thief, and a child raccoon with a mask on, or perhaps they're scared to come out because maybe they did something wrong. But they could also just be depressed. They're not even going through the trash. With a child who's dependent or spending on a marriage, or a child who's being made to pay for the Empress's or mother's or grandmother's marriage. The Empress traveling with child in transition. I was also getting children concerned about, money they're going to lose if their parent remarries or goes with a new person, with their twin. That could be coming up for some of the kids as well. Charitable to dependent and thieves wanting to get in on that, right? Because this could be like someone who knows about it, that thief energy of people who scour the papers for deaths to see who's going to inherit the money so that they can scam them. That was coming up again, as well as or just trying to marry the daughter of that so they can get their money. That's coming up. Fire ants swarming around the wound, the accident, or the star, right? The one that everyone wants a piece of, including the cheetah. Ants coming together in or through the maze, right? Where everyone has to stay in their own lane to get to the center. The collective awakening. And burdened by the wounded warrior's path, right? Because we want to get on the fool's journey, not the wounded warrior's path. The cheetah with complete mountain to climb, and the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community, dysfunction or loss, and dealing with that, or spending on the main male. There can also be where people are receiving money and they're actually spending it on their boyfriend or someone perhaps their parents don't necessarily like very much. And that could be like your partner also spending money on their family, or perhaps an addictive, sibling or something like that they don't want to give money to, but in giving money to their partner, they're giving it to that other person. So that could be happening too. Peacock and raccoon targets. They're coming up as targets. The peacock and raccoon are coming up as targets along with the lamb and the moth to the flame. Through scammers wanting to marry a child of the Empress and or peacock, and the peacock protecting the child from the cheetahs. And they're about to pounce. And that's at 10:16, the Wheel of Fortune and the Tower. If the mountain won't come to the mother and child, the mother and child will work through the labyrinth to get to the mountain. Sharing dependent spending, unaware of the Ten of Pentacles reversed, perhaps loss, or that the child is spending their gift on their main male, or scammers marrying off a child. This can even be parents who are marrying their child off for some kind of financial benefit or partnership, or perhaps someone expected to give a dowry to the child and the cheetah, or the child is sent to dig through somebody's trash, an old woman or mother of the Queen of Wands whose brother or father is a thief, or this can be someone with addictions, right? So when they're high, they go and steal things, or needing a fix, and then marrying off the daughter to the highest bidder, the main male. The Page of Pentacles watching the peacock juggle or perform, so the Queen of Wands and man can laugh at them. And that could be two, right? So people from the masculine's family laughing at the divine feminine doing their thing, or the Queen of Wands Empress and the wounded warrior main male, and the Page of Pentacles here, and is curious about the shadow lovers in energetic exchange of their occupation or work, or occupied by the energetic exchange, the push and pull of the twins. Or the daughter is concerned, again, like I said before, about losing inheritance to a mother's new boyfriend or new husband at 1031, which is a Wheel of Fortune, the 31 of chaos, of that conflict of the Five of Wands. And also, a lot of this could just be coming up with someone who's dealing with Scientology, because that was coming up around Scientology yesterday as well. Yeah. So now we're going to go into the union read. So here's the union read. So those of you not familiar, and I am doing 3, 4, 5 as opposed to 4, 5, 6 right now. This is 3D, 4D, 5D, and it can help you identify where your energy is. Are you more in the 3D, 4D, or 5D? Are you more on the feminine side, the masculine side? And here's the bridge between the incoming divine feminine, the outgoing divine masculine, the underlying energies over here with the Page of Swords, and the closing energy here of the Wheel of Fortune, Destiny. And I pulled a few extra cards around there today. I don't always do that. I don't usually. And then the read in front of you, which is the general twin flame read for all of the energies for the twins. And they're both the SIRIAN Starseed deck. And then here is the full 7-deck read on the table. So first we're going to do the union read. I just wanted to show you both pictures now. Okay. All right, so for the union read, I'm going to turn the light on here too. For the union read, 3D, 4D, 5D, this was at 12:50 p.m. yesterday. Got really windy yesterday too. For today, 3D, 4D, 5D, the Page of Swords is the underlying energy, alchemy's in the middle, and the Wheel of Fortune or Destiny at the end. With the message of alchemy and destiny, the seeker of thoughts and words, of blind men and orphans, blend into a higher love of patience and compassion, a high vibe loop of quantum energy that's destined. Being present to flame, the higher self is working to align with abundance, a mother, an empress with a message of acceptance and balance, a fast spinning atom stretching. That's funny too, because my daughter's with her roommate Adam today. A fast spinning atom stretching frog to prince, surrendering to all that is, the divine masculine's heart in the crystal bat cave, ending pain in order to achieve the bliss state. At 103 was the incoming divine feminine of the Five of Wands, the Nine of Swords, and the Knight of Cups. Energy waves of flames, conflict, groups, and expansion, games and competitions, or suffering in silence and stress, purging, hiding below ground out of the sun until you're able to be love again, swimming in place while the tide rolls over in an infinity pool of tears in a coffee cup, and working mother's message. And a working mother's message from their higher self. And that could be the masculine actually receiving a message. It can be both ways. It can be receiving a message from your twin, so because that's higher self. But they're talking about the working mother, which would be a single mom. The 3D here is the Starseed, the Ace of Swords, and the Five of Pentacles. The divine feminine with a huge download to the crown, or a knock in the noggin, or he in a cold place and she in jungle land, a very warm, humid place, with comet. So I don't know if there's some news about a comet, but that could be coming up. In a fresh start or new growth with the divine masculine hermit in the Mary Magdalene cave to see how it feels to be in exile from the group. Bridging with the Ace of Swords truth with plum to make sure it's even and fair to all concerned. The 4D is reason or the emperor, alchemy is the temperance card, and then the Four of Wands of the union or the home. The divine feminine with the emperor tossing 4D burning AI, becoming ice as it comes down to the 3D. It's like they're throwing something from the 4D to the 3D, but remember, when you change dimensions, it becomes much more dense or heavy. So what they toss out in 4D is like, it was coming up as like burning AI metal, being tossed out of 4D, but becomes ice and heavy in the 3D crown, may have packed a wallop they didn't expect, with or dropped the ball on their head, with a reason for doing this. The divine masculine in the castle with the drawbridge, and remember the castle is coming up as the the Milky Way, or the clouds, or Cloud Atlas, or the energy of Ashtar Command in the cloud above Jupiter. And then Ganymede coming up as well as the moon of Jupiter, the purple moon. The castle with drawbridge out, and the sunset in the back of the castle, and bridging at the wall between an emperor and his castle, transcending to a higher love, or coming together with patience, or clearing weeds, or compost perhaps. The 5D here is the Knight of Swords, Lovers, and the Knight of Wands. The Divine Feminine sending 5, 6, or 7 even D messages from a rock under a tree, as the Divine Masculine, devouring, as the Divine Masculine Knight of Wands with royal slow burn is baring his shaven chest for all to see, bridging in a puff the magic rainbow dragon, snorting smoke in beautiful hues, a branding of sorts, or a hot toddy perhaps. 2 knights create steam or fuming without water, right? So if there's water, there's steam, but if without the water, they're fuming. The outgoing Divine Masculine here was the 7 of Pentacles, which is the Divine Feminine's heart in the E Tower, the 9 of Cups, and the 4 of Swords. So the Divine Feminine's heart in the E Tower on the masculine side, while he with tie service for 9, or dressed to the 9s, with 6 rays of Mary Magdalene, or a mandolin, and a spread on break, rest, or vacation, thinking about their destiny. And Adam's aunt, perhaps. That's so funny because my sister's going to meet his family. Adam's family. Or Adam's aunt, perhaps. Or Jimmy's neutron. Maybe his neutron. Juggling 3 with 2 saved for later, surrendering to all in Divine Masculine's heart in Crystal Bat Cave, ending pain or getting massaged, or hiding their face in bliss because they're embarrassed to receive. The Divine Feminine here with a big download, or hail to the crown, and the Emperor with a reason that hurts a lot, like getting hit in the head with a baseball, and sending them on their way in a bubble, off to space alone, floating in a tin can far above the world. The Divine Masculine freezing cold, without light, only the ice's reflection, in the cave above the group, until he gets home to his castle cozy and warm, with the Knight of Wands, hot toddy, and always on. And bridging, the whole truth, just below the surface, that's plumb or even, and ready to play ball, but a pit in the stomach may make the plum go bad, when food goes bad. That was a dinosaur episode, actually. And lover's fame, or flame, or lovers fume. So when food goes bad, lovers fume, alchemizing bad food into something spectacular, perhaps on the grill or Barbie or glass blowing oven. And then we have the Divine Feminine. This could be presents people are getting too. And they could be, actually, I'm getting dads having fun, like shopping for toys for the kids because they're finding stuff they like. And then I have the Divine Feminine with 2 Aries, double Aries, as well as Pisces or Taurus perhaps. And it was really windy here. I wrote this down at 1:43. The Magician and the Coming Together, really windy with a lot of wind, perhaps without emotion, right? So it's more fuming as opposed to steamy. And the Masculine had Libra on their side. The Feminine had the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Swords on their side. The Masculine has the Knight of Wands, the passionate one, and the Divine Feminine's heart, and the Divine Masculine's heart afterward on their side, and emotionally sovereign. And between the Masculine and Feminine, Sagittarius, Gemini, and the Truth. And that could be Saggy as God, Mr. Ed, Gemini as the twins, and the Truth as well. 5 off, or 5 off phi, which can be expanding and contracting or reflecting, and the Knight of Cups, or the Knights of the Round Table. Somebody might have it having dinner at a round table. 7 of Cups and the 9 of Cups, or sea to shining sea, or see with your eyes, with your emotions and your heart, and the sea of the Christ or unity consciousness in order to ponder. A lot of cups here. And then the overall number here was 44 of the 4 of Cups, grounding, integrating, and mastering of love, or GIM, which is Jim. And then we have the sourcing of the horizontal pillars, 0, 4, and 40, which is Source, the Emperor, and the Page of Cups. The verticals were 5, 9, which is the 5 of the Hierophant, 9 of the Hermit, double zeros, 1 of the Magician, 9 of the Hermit, 7 of the Chariot, 9 of the Hermit again, and then the 4 of the Emperor. They can also, of course, be double-digit numbers. So the messages came up here as the Source Emperor, right? Because the only one in control is God, or Source. That's the Emperor, really. And then the Page of Cups, which is the innocent child of God, which is all of you. The grounding, integrating, and mastering of love received from the Emperor. And the Page of Cups always comes up in the reads together with the Emperor as him and his inner child. So it's coming up right now as God and you. Okay? And then at war, since 1979 was coming up on this dimension, or this the vertical pillars, at war since 1979, the Emperor, or being at war since 1979 for grounding, integrating, and mastering love, or perhaps going to the gym a lot, and then Hierophant and Hermit. Instead of 007, we're coming up as 001. Since 97, the Hermit and the Emperor grounding, integrating, and mastering now, or perhaps at the gym. Stretching and growing with space for Sun, the pot of gold for the Emperor to ground, integrate, and master the receiving of love from his Son. So again, this is about God wanting the masculines to wake up, right? To God, to Source, for those who don't believe in that energy of love. So it's very much about the Father and Son here. The Father wanting the masculine to wake up, his Son. So there's definitely intervention there. Okay, so let's go into the read on the table, which was done. I cut and dealt at 211, which is the feminine, the High Priestess, the 11 of Justice, the SIRIAN Starseed deck cut and dealt for today. And then at 222, of Flames came up. So all about the flames, all about drama perhaps. Florida can be coming up there as well as LA. I'm just getting Maine for some reason as well. And then ES was coming up. Again, emphasizing the S, which is Sophia, or the essence of the feminine of 222. At 236, I completed all the clarifiers with the 2 of the High Priestess, or the feminine, and the 36 of the Atlas, the weight of the world. And the major arcana for this read were were the Tower, Justice, and Strength. Before the read, Abundance, or the Empress, came up. And after the read, Reason, or the Emperor, came up. So now we have the Abundance of the feminine, or the mother energy, and then the Reason of the father on like bookends at the ends of the table. That's what I'm getting, like at the holiday dinners, right? One's at one end of the table and one at the other, with the Tower, Justice, and Strength in between. We have 3 swords, 3 wands, and 2 cups. We have the King of Swords, King of Cups as the main players in the read, King of Swords and King of Cups. Before the read, we have the Knight of Cups, Page of Pentacles, Page of Swords, and the 9 of Wands, which can all be kids. And then, of course, the Wounded Warrior, the one who's always upset, which definitely can be twins. And then after the read was the Queen of Wands and the Knight of Wands. And they've been coming up a lot together. The Queen of Wands and Knight of Wands, or even the King and King of Wands, the Queen and King, have been coming up a lot together. So here, the number-wise, we have double 2s, double 3s, and double 5s. So the 23 of the King of Wands is coming up twice, and 2 Aries came up. So there could be 2 Aries, King of Wands is here, as well as the 56 of the 2 of Swords, being in your knowing and keeping to yourself, which a lot of people are because you're buying presents for kids right now. And then we have the 35 of the energetic exchange, a lot of back and forth, the arrows of love right now. And the 69 of the Ace of Pentacles, which is that offer of time, money, and effort, or perhaps an offer of a new life of perfect contentment. And 910, begin again and again and again. Keep coming back to center whenever you expand. Come back to center again. The heart, the present moment. So the message of the day here, or not the message of the day, but the code line message here, was all about spirituality and change. And it was broken up into spiri and chuality, and change was broken up into ch and ange, which can be Angie, so some of the Angies can be coming up here. And the messages were coming up as such. After death, seeing the Sophia and Christ, or the Christos Sophia, and the third flame, that 3, divine co-creation, reflecting IV tower, so constant flow of the tower energy, which is, sudden events, explosions, eruptions, blowing your top, your crown, your cover, your mind, or having epiphanies and or sexual exchange. The yes of the knowing, excited and separating people to throw them off, to surprise them, riddle them, as the king is coming up here. And again, that can just be innocent as people are, trying to throw off their kids so they don't know what they're doing, but also can be a negative aspect too, where people are trying to separate you and throw you off to cheat you. So remember that both aspects in polarity will always come up. The spy of the re of the frenzied king, right? So now we're all out in frenzied shopping, right, for last minute gifts. The spying of the re, and the re is coming up as the frenzied person, right? So the spy re is the frenzied king out there trying to buy last minute gifts, or the duality, right, of the twins, and channeling angels, or horsepower angle, which comes up as Mr. Ed and God, and the angle of that, or the chi of energy and a sweet odor perhaps, or bludgeoning pain, or cozy oppression, or co-signing maybe trouble here. I pursue, but without having a key. The ES, so the Sophia and Christ, or perhaps someone's social security number, or a screen name, a liver, somebody's looking for a liver, a brother, an uncle, a nephew, a husband, a suitor, an equal here, to kiss, to smell, a parish perhaps, a colleague, a fellow, or litigant. We also have the energies of they, them, sonar, sonography, the sleep state, and the sound system all coming up here, taking the high road of extra-dimensional co-creating, an IV of expanding and contracting, or constant flow of expanding and contracting or reflecting, the tower, reflecting. It's like the energy of the Forbes king, right? So the Forbes 500, someone really wealthy. Or perhaps the tower is neglecting that Forbes king, and the Forbes king wouldn't like that. And in situ is coming up here, and C2. I pursue, but without knowing who. So there's energies of pursuing, but not having the key to pursue, and then pursuing without actually knowing who you're pursuing. The female donkey or ass. The slave, milk, is also coming up here. The Empress of divine co-creation, expanding the tower. To be the Two of Swords, re, or riddle. Or louse as the shaman king perhaps. Or maybe the louse, they're coming up as a louse because they knew and they didn't tell. Or as the shaman. Or the cavity, sinus, the depression, the heart. Oneself, each other, lovers, being the sieve or filter, filtering things out, knowing and not telling, or unaware of the delirium or frenzy, or of the dear king. The spy shaman may be delirious, or doing this to riddle, separate, or throw you off. The duality of duality, or the tool is coming up here too. And tool comes up as to swell, or the Taurus as well, the whale and the pine cone, very significant, right? So Taurus is the toroidal field, and the pine cone is the pineal gland. So that word TUL is coming up as very significant, of duality of the twins. And again, cosine coming up again, constrained, to turn in, indicate, and again the toroidal field coming up there, and Taurus, because we just went into the north node in Taurus. That's why the pineal gland is the pine cone, just went into Taurus, leading the way, right? Because we just had the north node change into Taurus yesterday. So this read starts out with the King of Swords upright, 341, which is the Empress and the Ace of Cups. Below the King of Swords was the Knight of Cups reversed, the Page of Pentacles upright, Abundance upright, which can be the Empress as well, the Page of Swords upright, and the Nine of Wands reversed, which is good because the wounded warrior is surrendering or giving up. The Knight of Cups reversed may be jealous, rejected, moody, or insincere, with the Page of Pentacles with an opportunity or a student and their abundant mother, with a message of the Page of Swords or wounded warrior reversed or surrendering to the King of Swords. And that could be a child giving up to their father. At 444 in the angelic realms, defenseless to the energies of the King of Pentacles reversed, and losing patience or a fallen angel, coming clean or cleaning up their act, the King of Pentacles reversed may be moving, visiting, or in an unstable home, or doing work and keeping to themselves. Or there's multiple estimates or multiple kids. Hanging out, depressed, no sun, needing hope for work with issues and disconnect or at a distance, in a death, an ending, dark night, or Scorpio in transition, and the Queen of Wands looking back, avoiding sudden changes, or after sudden events, or released from a prison or contract. The Hierophant, religion, establishment, or even a Taurus. The Patriarchy, expecting others to bow down, and leaving all this behind. The Capricorn or Pisces upright, depressed about a broken partnership at work that ended, with the Queen of Wands upright, with Scorpio released by or from the Hierophant upright or Taurus. The Magician, with all their tools on board, is present to the energies of falling out in the past with an announcement or wake-up call, and with the heat on and the water all dried up, making the effort, and beneath that expressing your love. With the Four of Pentacles reversed, pushed out of bed after sudden jealous rage, which is the pull of all business partnership that's not working out. Broken down or on the warpath, a two-bull split or running of the bulls, with the Ace of Wands reversed, frustrated or no passion, not aroused, no humor, just doesn't understand, with the Divine Feminine stuck on the glass ceiling, with strange bedfellows. Completion, number 9, and leadership is below that, number 81, which is the completion of karma around the world. And then the energy going forward of the fallen angel, losing patience or their temper at night or with Cancer, or full moon's magic on those out in the cold who are dead tired, with a message of love. And that could be a shopping trip too, with all the frenzy. From the past, perhaps, a message of love. A sneaky Scorpio, perhaps, coming home early, with Sagittarius reversed, Cancer upright, Gemini or Virgo upright, and Pisces upright too. At 519, which is the Hierophant and the Sun, or Pisces is upright and Scorpio is reversed, looking back at the King of Swords, Master of Ceremonies, with an establishment, the religion, a Taurus, or marriage, or the Hierophant wake-up call, an announcement, call, or judgment, a rescue effort, and not understanding until the work is complete. Abuse of leadership may be coming up here, as well as manipulation. Buyer beware, because they're permitted by our courts in our country to commit fraud. They're allowed to manipulate you, and they put the blame on you if you get manipulated. The 529 here is the Hierophant and the 29 of being present in the moment. The underlying energy of the King of Pentacles and partner, or independent daughter dumping multiple loads, or emotions as feeling like they're left for dead or behind, or perhaps getting a massage. Juggling performing, or the daily act, grieving loss, regret on the journey. Ending an emotional cycle, or with a negative family, frustrated, unable to understand, with the Page of Cups reversed and the Two of Wands reversed, perhaps rejection without options, and present to the Knight of Cups reversed, dumping a load, a burden, or responsibilities, or taking a load off. With no choices for the King of Swords, who's coming together with the Queen of Swords from the past to announce, call, judge, or wake up to unstable home, knowing and keeping to themselves, with the Divine Feminine, the 5D, or Pisces reversed, or upside down world. In the recent past is the King of Cups. In the past, seen as unconditionally loving, the Empress is upright, the King of Cups is upright, on a quest or conflicted by secret passion and coming back, or letting them back in, with good news on the journey to say to someone, stop overworking, or just say it when it's not working out, trying to keep their balls up in the air, walking away from the Knight of Swords who's rushing in to detox, or Capricorn King of Pentacles reversed, dumping on the Empress and the King of Cups, or just overwhelmed and sweating it out, breaking up, or crying a lot, with Taurus upright and Pisces and Capricorn reversed here. And the foundation being the Three of Wands, being present to your flame, reaping rewards of the Divine Feminine in 5D at 544, the Hierophant, and the grounding, integrating, and mastering of love, especially receiving it, hanging out in the fall or making a fool of oneself or falling from grace, as Pisces is reversed, Capricorn upright, and Aries reversed here. The central energy of the Five of Wands in conflict. But this also could be fun and games. By flame, gifts, or your psychic gifts. Performing the truth to parties in disconnect or at a distance. With dysfunctional family, business, or community. And the King of Wands reversed with the Page of Swords stepping up to pass a message to the Queen of Swords upright and the King of Swords upright. Awake to Leo or ego, or coming out, taming the beast, and that could be a pet as well. Without option, the Queen of Wands is resisting temptation or sudden changes or an event with the Knight of Cups reversed, who may be jealous, moody, or insincere, or feeling rejected. Refusing love, or the Knight of Cups reversed may be someone with Scorpio in their chart. Frustrated with lover reversed or ex, or in a breakup, or lack of affection and rising above, the King of Cups is upright, magician, in physical reunion with the Empress upright at night, bleeding out with Libra in a twist of fate with defensive end or facing their fears or their self, as the Knight of Pentacles reversed, Page of Pentacles upright, Sovereign upright, which they can definitely be three siblings there or all earth signs, along with the King of Cups upright here. The King of Cups is coming together or having a small gathering or going away for a holiday party, or dumping multiple loads or emotional attachments with issues at work in the downturn, moving to peace and separation, and dissatisfied, not getting their wish, and no options, and unhappy alone looking back. The King of Cups is coming together to flirt and show off or dance, with the Knight of Swords delivery or messenger, to end the suffering in silence with the Knight of Wands player, or can't get no satisfaction, moving to peace to or from the Queen of Pentacles upright with the Empress reversed there, and the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community in separation or disappointed, starting over, getting off the fence about rejection or a spoiled child and facing their fears, coming together no longer silenced in a breakdown with the Knight of Swords upright who can't believe what they're seeing, with the Knight of Pentacles reversed and the Page of Pentacles upright caught in the woods or only confessing after the fact, with Libra facing their fears or they're facing their fears of other people talking, right, gossip, or the Knight of Pentacles reversed refusing to budge with the Page of Pentacles offer or opportunity to be sovereign, loving man, or to invite twins of unconditional love. And soon here is the Six of Swords upright, peaceful travels and grieving between the Queen of Wands upright and the Page of Wands reversed, which can be two children or a mother and child, but we have the Queen of Cups upright here as well. And the Hierophant or Taurus in energetic exchange with walking away or perhaps taking a hike at night, or to get away from Cancer or to start over and dump emotional attachments to energetic exchange and hanging a shingle over it. An establishment, that's a confirmation. An establishment or an all-boys club here. So somebody could be sneaking out to the sex club or something like that. Or an energetic exchange at the full moon and howling with the dogs out, and that can reference the men. The twin flames are seeing themselves as injustice or something unfair. Or the Ten of Cups reversed, taming the beast with Leo now pacified, dumping and purging, getting a bath. This could be pets or kids who don't want a bath, but also it could be purging a breakup, or depressed, letting go and needing to fix, make repairs, or amend with somebody. Ending pain, or just drained, or kids or pets are, with Leo upside down, drained or sharing and settling out, and so perhaps someone's feeling like it's never enough, they keep wanting more. With Libra and Aquarius both reversed, with Leo upright and reversed both ways, and playfulness worth waiting for, and trust for the twins. Around how you're seen is the Strength card, the Ring of Fire, the Circle of Trust, dumping a load or birthing to offer a new life to the Hermit, to detox and transition, or perhaps an unnatural death here. And that could be just describing the unnatural death that happened and now wanting to start over again. With Leo upright, Virgo upright, Scorpio upright, Capricorn reversed here, taking a break to offer time, money, and energy to the Hermit to detox with Scorpio or Dark Night, making a breakthrough or birthing and challenged by the Two of Swords, knowing and floating comfortably numb. Nightly surrender to the injustice of it with change, spirituality, but even more so that was significant, spirituality. Change, spirituality, but even more so, relationship change, manifestation, and physical activity. As the Queen of Swords is present to romantic tie, the twin flames upside down may be starting over with their sovereignty, or with someone else who's now sovereign or single again. Dumping responsibilities with the Knight of Pentacles reversed and the Page of Pentacles upright and the Sovereign or Nine of Pentacles upright, along with the King of Cups, with no option but to leave, retire, or the Emperor's reversed and the Queen of Wands is upright, grieving, the Ten of Wands reversed Atlas, not leaving the wounded warrior behind, and the Knight of Wands reversed, released from their prison by falling short, dumping a load, a burden, or all their responsibilities, or paralyzed by their passions, and the Queen of Wands may be feeling badly about a confession of the Knight of Wands reversed or her own. The King of Swords is present to the injustice of birthing in a breakthrough of the King of Cups, who's upright, but conflicted or battling sudden changes and moving to peace of their knowing and coming together without option, with no logical reason for the Queen of Wands to be grieving and dumping a load with the Knight of Wands reversed or on them. And at 627, which is the Lovers and the third flame there with the Ace of Wands or new passion, the jealous Page of Pentacles with the Empress and the Page of Swords surrendering to the King of Swords and the King of Cups from the past, present to conflict or group coming together, and the challenge being the Tower upside down, avoiding disaster, or after a sudden event, or injustice of peace, travel and a breakthrough, the strength of knowing and being numb, and no options for the Emperor reversed, the Queen of Wands upright, to feel bad and confess to the Knight of Wands or vice versa. The Knight of Wands reversed may have been released recently from prison or from whatever prison they made for themselves. So let's see where we are here. It's pretty long already, so I'm just going to go ahead and pull from the Journey of Love and see what we're taking away here. Take a deep breath. It's 4:11 on the clock. This is emergent information. Where are we here? 117.59. It just went to 118. So that's the moon, the Jupiter moon, the purple moon, and the Magician. And that makes sense too, right? Because Jupiter Sagittarius, which is very purple. It's like tanzanite and the purple moon. There we go. Simplicity. Keep it simple. This is the Four of the Emperor. Remember the Emperor always comes up with the Page of Cups. So it's the energy of control, which is Source, and all of Source's children, the Page of Cups, that innocent, pure love that you are. And keep it simple, very black and white. The Six of the Lovers and the Angel of Jupiter awakened, just as I'm speaking about Jupiter. So awakening about Jupiter and the moon of Jupiter, Ganymede, and the Ashtar command in the clouds of Jupiter. And you notice that the Four of the Emperor and the Six of the Lovers comes up to 46, which is the children hugging each other in a big loving hug. And notice what's here is two floating, right? The masculine and the feminine floating in alignment, and as they keep going, they merge together naturally. You don't have to get rid of the space between because they just come together naturally. The Angel of Jupiter awakening. Then we have the next card is the Christ flame, which is that chaos of birth and letting go of the past. Because this is very Jupiter, it's very Sagittarius and Jupiter, which is the letting go of Sagittarius, which is now letting go of Scorpio. But this is the ending of that Christ consciousness, which comes up for me more as the Saggy energy that we let go of the North Node of yesterday. So the chaos of the birthing of the new, letting go of the old energy of God, Jesus and Mary Magdalene, and the victim mentality. Okay, well, this is the old. We're letting go of that Saggy energy, that part of God. We're letting go of that with the lovers. Merging into the middle in the birthing of the new. The Earth Angel with a message. 54 is the Page of Swords. And there's that moon up there with a new blanket. I'm sure some of you have new blankets. I know that I just was dealing with that. That's funny. So the rainbow of the Mother Ark and the Father Castle clouds and the castle in a cloud of the Ashtar Command in the clouds of Jupiter, and also the Milky Way though as well. But you are the earth angels of Source Creator. You are their innocent children. And there's that Christ energy standing in the middle of the polarities, right? The red and the blue, the fire and the ice, and seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Right? The monkey in the middle, the monk, the M and the Ankh, which is the source of Emana, and the Ankh of one, the source of one, the monk, and the key, which is also E of energy, which is love. The monkey in the middle, the white light, which contains all the colors. You notice the rainbow of colors in this too, of the spread. The spread, the blanket, the earth angel with a message, the moon. I'm getting this moonlight coming through here. That's interesting. It doesn't usually come through that way. Tunneling through the chaos of polarity with a message. Oh, look what comes up. I'm going to show you the bottom first. The bottom of the deck is heaven. And this always reminds me of the Green Mile when he watches heaven. I'm in heaven. He watches Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire dance in the movie at the end before he gets killed on death row. But this is the energy from the movie that comes up. So the heaven energy of projecting out, and we've been talking about the ETs when they first come to Earth, perhaps projecting their image here so we don't get scared. That may be a buffer of how to introduce themselves, because that's coming up. And again, and that may be very true that they're coming soon, because we're talking about Ashtar Command, and we've been talking a lot about Ganymede and them getting together, talking about what the next move is. So what's coming after these two guys is the yin-yang lover of the feminine bending over backwards, again using her hair to connect. And trying not to use up too much space, right? Making sure there's plenty of space on the other side. And you notice how this becomes the yin-yang circle. And then we have just for a moment joy. This is saying for the feminine to take this moment to jump for joy, just to really enjoy yourself and allow the light to come in as a child, to understand what this moment means and to just really take it in. Take in the message, take in the rainbow, the colors, the blanketing of coming together and merging the polarities to the middle with the Christ unity consciousness, seeing the light, perhaps regarding something to do with the moon and Ganymede and the Ashtar Command, of bending over backwards within this circle. And there's the moon again, see? Look. The moon, and then the light at the end of the tunnel. What's coming up is the purple moon. And just for a moment, joy, to allow this streaming of light coming from there. I think that's where it's coming from, as opposed to the sun. We're getting energy from Ganymede, from Jupiter. That is very interesting. It's a very purifying, joyful, really raising our vibration light. I feel like this is, and it's not that we're not getting energy from the sun, but I feel like they're infusing it with this other energy for our codes that's not just coming from the sun, but also coming from here. And look, too, because heaven's coming up with that same kind of moon energy. That faded moon in the background, right? You can barely see it because it's far away. And that's coming up in the underlying energy, too. And we were talking about Ganymede today. It's radiating all this light. And again, they could be projecting. Maybe they're going to project from Ganymede or from Ashtar Command, but it's all about Jupiter and the moon. So anyway, and we have Jupiter came up too. Okay, so the first three cards were these guys, don't forget. Keeping it simple, as in Emperor, the creator, and their little ones, the Page of Cups. Keep it very black and white, pure. Purify with that white light. Keep it simple. As you merge naturally, you don't have to push or pull. Just allow the flow right now, allowing the angel of Jupiter awakening to Jupiter, the lovers. And Venus has been very significant this week too. But Venus is retrograde. So it may be retrograde on purpose to allow Jupiter to shine through in letting go of the Christ, the old template of the Christ flame and the birthing of the new. And the letting go of Sagittarius yesterday. The new Jupiter. What else? Something else is trying to come out, but I don't have it yet. But there's something to do with Jupiter's moon, with Ganymede. The numbers we have here is the Page of Swords, the King of Cups, which is unconditional love, right? The unconditional love of the Christ energy, the unity consciousness of standing in the middle, reflecting both sides in order to come to the middle, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, with the 8 of the dance between the masculine and the feminine, the yin-yang lover, right? Here's the Christ, and here's the feminine, right? Different perspectives completely. He's looking at the light of the moon coming through, and she's bending over backwards to see things differently. And just for this moment, and this is referencing both, because we have the 46 of 2 children hugging each other, just for a moment, allow all of the light in of joy. It's so pure with the white. It's all about the child's heart here. It's very beautiful. And again, we just have the Emperor here, number 4. And I just opened to Eruption of Light, which was number 11. Yeah, Eruption of Light. Number 4, simplicity. Bow to that which is simple. You'll find answers to your most complex issues and those questions that seem to defy the possibility of an answer. You'll find the solution now through simplicity. Live one day at a time, having gratitude for whatever you possibly can, even if you're yet to understand why you should be grateful, because you cannot perceive the gift hiding within your struggles quite yet. Trust the goodness in life, seeking to serve you into becoming the fullness of all that you are. Yes, beloved, even in your darkest night, the light of love is serving you. The most sophisticated of problems can be resolved through a simple answer. Love, trust, have faith, be patient. Wait and you shall see. Let simplicity be. This oracle brings you an answer. Everything is going to be all right. Don't add fuel to the fire and look for ways to sort out complicated matters prematurely. Sometimes ingredients need to cook and percolate so that they can become a meal. The circumstances with which you are struggling will right themselves in time. Stay present and be patient. Pray in your own way. Meditation, time in nature, dance, and literally walk to the divine. When you need to take a clear, simple action, you will feel it. Relax and know it's all going to work out for the best. There is peace for one whose heart is open. Remember your water, your sleep, your joy, and your nature. And always remember to breathe. And rise and be love, you guys. I'll see you soon. Have an amazing holiday. Bye.